counties, she's over 70%,
Wow.
has the highest approval ratings of any governor. And I said, well, are you wanting me to guess which two she didn't have the highest numbers? So I think that you've got different reasons that this ended up dying. I think tonight you're going to see it go away. Look, Jim Ziegler, who's been very vocal on the toll bridge, he was very opposed to this. His wife is on the state school board. He thinks they've done a good job. He thinks they answer to the people. And I've been really interested in Jim's comments on this. I think he's been directly to the point. At the end of the day, do you want to give away your voice to another elected official? I think the voters are going to say no tonight.
Yeah, I think the argument for the yes was that part of our school problems lie with the school board and their lack of professionalism, and you would have more professionals. But there was no guarantee the governor could appoint whomever that he or she wanted to. So
completely agree.
That's a tough sell with the voters in the state of Alabama, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, John. Again, we are covering all these big races tonight. Our presidential race here in Alabama and nationwide. We're covering our Senate race on the Republican side. A very interesting race there that's being closely watched nationally as well. We've got our congressional race, an open seat here in Lower Alabama. Bradley Byrne and Jeff Sessions. Here's our Senate race again with Tuberville and Moore. We'll be checking in from all these camps around the state of Alabama tonight as some of these numbers start to come in. Again, we'll also be checking in on our congressional races. Jerry Carl, Bill Hightower, and Chris Pringle running on the Republican side. And on the Democratic side, we've got James Averhart and Rick Collins, as well as Keani Gardner, and we'll stay on top of all of those races as well. What's your sense here, John? I know you've got professionals around the country that you talk with as well about this Senate race here on the Republican side to take on Doug Jones.
They'll be happy with any of them. I mean, what you hear out of Washington is, you know, Bradley was serving in the 1st Congressional. They felt he did a great job. They don't know anything about Tommy Tuberville and where he stands in the issues. I think that's a little bit of a liability. But I think Tommy Tuberville's put himself out there pretty well over the last 12 months to kind of tell the voters and tell the folks in Washington, D.C. where he wants to be. You know, the real question is, as I said, Jeff Sessions. What happens if he goes back to Washington, D.C.? He has told everybody he's going to be the president's Boy Scout. He's going to be loyal. He's going to be the same Jeff Sessions introduced him. I think the people in Washington, D.C. are waiting with bated breath to see what happens. The smart money is on Jeff Sessions coming in first place and Tommy Tuberville coming in behind him in a special election where they're going to essentially smother Tommy out with money. That's what you hear coming out. The problem is, if you remember, that's what they did with Luther Strange. They tried to come in with Luther Strange and Mitch McConnell and all that money because they didn't want Roy Moore, and that backfired on them. The question is that same kind of strategy going to work here? There's no doubt that the members of the United States Senate would probably rather have Jeff Sessions back. They've known him for 2 decades. I mean, he was a good senator. But sometimes when you try to place your will on things, you show people a motivation or a persuasion that may offend them. Voters in Alabama don't take kindly to other people telling us what to do. We saw that in 2013, and we may get an opportunity to see that again here.
Yeah, we saw it in 2017 with the Luther Strange and Roy Moore, when a lot of people felt there had been a dirty deal with Luther Strange and Governor Bentley. And
I was referencing that 2013 congressional race with Bradley Byrne and Dean Young, where you saw Dean Young pull in so close to that race because so much out-of-area money had been spent in that race and stirred the pot. And then, of course, you saw it directly with Roy Moore's race, which was what I was talking about with Luther Strange.
And I think people in that, they just didn't go vote. They didn't, you know, they weren't actually voting for Roy Moore necessarily over Luther Strange, but they just stayed away from that one.
There were a lot of things bad about that race for a lot of different reasons.
Okay. Again, we've got, with Bradley Byrne running for Senate, we have an open congressional seat here in Lower Alabama, a seat that's been held by Republicans for going on close to, 55 years now, going back to around 1965. Let's take a look at the 3 candidates who are the front runners on the Republican side in this race. There are 5 total candidates, but the 3 top runners, according to the poll that we did about a month ago, are Jerry Carl, Bill Hightower, and Chris Pringle. All 3 well-known names here in the local political circles. Jerry Carl, of course, a county commissioner. Bill Hightower, a former state senator and a gubernatorial candidate. And Chris Pringle, a current member of the Alabama House. And Dana Winter had a report on Jerry Carl's campaign a few minutes ago in downtown Mobile. I understand she's gone across the street now to Chris Pringle headquarters. Dana, what's the feeling there? Are they feeling optimistic about a Chris Pringle victory or getting into that runoff tonight?
Well, everyone here is in really great spirits tonight. As you walk in the restaurant, you just hear a lot of people who are very excited. The Pringle campaign group is really starting to arrive. We've got some of them out here tonight. And as we actually take a look inside the restaurant, there are several Pringle supporters just beginning to arrive, many of them wearing their Pringle stickers and buttons. A lot of them actually just coming from the polls that closed about 40 minutes ago, a little less than that. As far as Chris Pringle, he does say that he is with President Trump on several things, including the Second Amendment, replacing and repealing Obamacare, building the wall, and also the viewpoints on illegal immigration. Pringle also says that he sides with the president on fighting for veterans, rebuilding the military, that he's pro-life, and also several other issues. But inside of here in the restaurant, you can see there are several people eating, talking about where they went, how many calls they made and texts they made to try to get people to come out and vote tonight or today. And it looks like it's been a very long day for a lot of people who are inside of here right now. Like I said, we've got people both inside the restaurant and outside as well. So it is really starting to fill up over here at Pringle headquarters, which, like you all said, is right across the street from the Carl campaign. Here we're at OK Bike Shop. The other group is over at Moe's Barbecue in downtown. Like I said, it is starting to fill up. People are just starting to arrive. Chris Pringle, we heard, should be here at about 8:30, and so that is now less than 1 hour away. We'll be seeing Chris Pringle arrive here at OK Bike Shop. When he does get here, we will let you all know, and we'll keep you updated with what he thinks about those election results that are starting to slowly make their way to us. Reporting live tonight here in downtown Mobile at Pringle's headquarters at OK Bike Shop, I'm Dana Winter for News 5.